Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the Professor, and this is the Moment of Truth. Now, if I didn't know better, I'd say the Christmas came early this year. In a bit of interesting news, Lizzo is quitting. Now, she hasn't exactly made it clear precisely what it is that she's quitting, but Lizzo is intimating, or at least the white media is reading into it, that she's going to be quitting social media because she gets all this criticism and she has a thin skin, or she's going to be quitting music because of all of her multiple legal problems, or that she's going to be quitting society. As far as I'm concerned, I hope she quits all of the above. This is a woman who made a career out of attention whoring, and if she did anything that was worthwhile, you'd be hard-pressed to name it. She literally showed her cellulite-riddled derriere to the world, and she thought that she was doing something great, and the white media was just cheering her on. But when the public predictably clowned her, and the black community, well, the ones who aren't brain-dead, that is, denounced her, she didn't admit to her misdeeds, apologize, and promise not to do it again. Instead, she chose to mock her critics and told them she'll do what she wants, and if you don't like it, tough. The white media played along with her nonsense, but as always, they get tired of looking at black people, especially the ones who play the fool for them. And we all know how this story ends, but apparently Lizzo, she don't read too much. Now here's what's really interesting. Lizzo just got through taking part in a fundraiser for Joe Biden, one that raised allegedly $26 million. She probably thought the geriatric leader of the free world might do her a solid one as a result, but he treated her just like he did the rest of the black community. After he got the support that he wanted, he was gone with the wind. So you got these Negroes who seem to think to themselves that if they just stand close to white power, that apparently white power is going to treat them differently, that somehow they can expect to get a little bit of extra sweet treatment out of it, but it never materializes. No matter how it starts, no matter how it seems to go, no matter how the white media acts like it's sticking up for these idiots, it always ends the same way, with the buffoon in question isolated and alone, and the white media letting them get beat like a piñata. It's like I've always said, white supremacy loves a cruel prank, especially a joke that takes a long time to pay off. White supremacy can be patient, especially if they know that they got a victim who has no clue what's coming. And this is how it is with Lizzo. They decide to go ahead and put her on a pedestal, just like they did Gabourey Sidibe. They always make sure that they take some black person, especially if it's a black woman, make sure that she's morbidly obese, and they go, okay, we're going to make her into our little poster child. And of course, they think to themselves, oh, the white media loves me because they gave me some cover stories. Yeah, they're laughing all the way to the bank because they found a way to monetize people's stupidity. The white media has mastered the art of monetizing its anti-black racism, no matter which way it's slanted. So on the one hand, they make money by putting some fool like Lizzo on the front page and acting like they truly believe that she's some sort of edgy trendsetter and not the obnoxious and offensive oaf that she truly is. And then on the other hand, after they've built her up and encouraged their pawn to keep acting like a fool, the public loses interest in them and they no longer are fodder for the front page. But there'll still be people who continue to go in on the buffoon in question, and then the Lizzos of the world realize their white media buddies are gone, and they now have no one to run interference for them. And as the pile-on continues, and they realize that they've been completely abandoned by their would-be white media buddies, that's when they start saying, oh, everyone's dogpiling me and it's so wrong, and the white media suddenly comes back, hey, if we're going to do a story about the rise of Lizzo, it wouldn't be complete unless we get to cover the fall, too. And at that point, you have the bootlick in question who flees. They have to. White power has left them no other choice. Now, Lizzo's got some legal problems these days. She's tried to get those sexual harassment lawsuits against her dismissed, but the judge denied her request, so she's going to have to, face the music. But I don't think that that's where this whole Lizzo is quitting thing is coming from. Yesterday was April 1st, and that's when she made her announcement. Coincidence? I think not, but regardless, Lizzo's not going anywhere except the buffet line. She's not quitting from social media, much less music. She'll take a break for a few months or perhaps a year, and then in due time she'll be on Twitter, on social media, announcing that she's got some sort of new project that she's doing, and oh, she's coming back, because you can't hold a good bootlick down. This is what she's been reduced to. This is her latest attention whoring stunt, and it's not getting thumbs up from the white media, not like the old days. Oh, well, I guess for her it was either this or fake her own death or pretend to be taken hostage by militant vegetarians. Vegetables. For Lizzo, that's a fate worse than death. In time, she will try to resurface, like a whale, and when she does, she'll be hoping to reinvent herself. That's how I see this playing out. They say the show ain't over till the fat lady sings, but considering that Lizzo is a singer, I think it was over a long time ago, and a lot of you may not necessarily like the fact that I'm doing all these digs at her, but the truth of the matter is, does Lizzo deserve our respect? No, she doesn't. As you all know, I don't like discussing anything involving celebrities, but it's good to remind ourselves why it is that we don't follow them, because the road they're on has a dead end. Lizzo's finding out the hard way that it doesn't matter how many white media publications or broadcasters decide that they're going to have you as the lead story. It doesn't matter if you go out of your way to help the president raise money for his damn-to-fail re-election campaign. At the end of the day, all of these white powers that be will still leave you on curbside for pickup. Whatever it is that Lizzo is hoping is going to come out of this little stunt that she's pulling, she might as well go ahead and get ready for the inevitable crush, because that's what's actually going to happen. This is not going to be a brief hiatus before she makes some glorious return. What this is going to be is the white media portraying this as just the latest example of her instability. The white media coverage of this is not as laudatory and supportive as it was in the past. Oh yeah, showing your behind, literally, at an NBA game, that might get a couple of yucks from the white media, but they're laughing at you, not with you. But with the white media, the slant of their coverage of this incident is that Lizzo's got all of these problems in her life and in her career, and she's trying to run away from them. That's the slant that they put on it. That's the angle that they're pushing. Though I, for one, do wonder, did Lizzo perhaps spend so much time on social media that she actually got affected, got in her feelings when it came to the kind of vitriol and criticism that she was getting online? Perhaps, but rather than accept that a lot of the criticism she's gotten has been well-deserved, instead she decided to do this stunt, saying, "I quit." And do you see anyone trying to stop her? Of course not. The white media is not running any stories about her saying, "Oh, look what all these mean people online are saying. Look how mean they're being. You know, it's time for a larger conversation about the intersection of celebrity and social media and civility." They're not doing any of that stuff. None of that boo-hoo. Ain't it a shame that people aren't so nice anymore? Instead, what they're doing is they're giving a brief summary of her greatest misses, because they dang sure ain't hits. All of this stuff that she's been doing, they're reminding the public about it. What they're doing is they're framing it. It's a matter of, yeah, Lizzo says that she quits, and people are giving her a hard time online, and here's the reason why. Yeah, the way that it always goes. And sure, I know it's too much to hope that maybe Lizzo will be gone for good, but if anyone deserves it, she does. And if this is indeed the end, well, it's about damn time. Good day, and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Loke Thies, Mouse, CC Henry, Kari Brasher, and Mo Love. Salute to them, and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.